Oh, it's really exciting. I think culmination of all the hard work throughout the season. South Fremantle, formidable opponents. Hopefully, it's a good day and a really good spectacle. Personally, excited by the opportunity. Knowing that we've got full support and our preparation's been right. Confident going into the weekend.
In terms of personnel, Bo, Ryan Borchert, he missed the second semi through suspension. Is he necessarily an automatic, or where's Ryan at?
I suppose he's got to get through training tonight. His form over the season's probably put him in a position where he's probably going to come in this weekend. That might mean that we're going to have to juggle our team and positions around a little bit. But I think the bank of work that he's done across the season will give him an opportunity this weekend.
Clancy Wheeler, where's he at? I believe he played in the reserves in the first semi and got through okay wearing a mask for his badly broken nose. Is he any chance to play on Sunday?
Yeah, he's been training really well over the last couple of weeks, and we put that to him. We sort of said to him 4 or 5 weeks ago that there was no guarantee to play a league final, let alone a grand final should we make it. But he's done everything that he can at the moment to, I suppose, push his case. So we'll have that discussion tonight after training and see where he ends up.
How hard is that in terms of he's a bit of a club legend,
yeah.
And whether it's his last year or second last year, how hard does that come into consideration at all?
Oh no, I think it's purely based on form. Obviously, he's a proven player at league level, and can certainly his experience on grand final day might be important for us. But I suppose he's also of the understanding of where he's at, and the players that have got us to this position have earned an opportunity as well. So whoever misses out, whether if Clancy does come in, is going to be unfortunate. But I suppose his character and understanding, he knows where he's at.
It's an unusual situation, but he gave the club plenty of notice that he would be away on this tour. I think he went to the Ashes and had some time, a virtual holiday, but he let you guys know. So from that point of view, he's ticked all the boxes.
Yeah, it was great. He said he was the difference for the first test when he rocked up there and watched them claim the first win. We knew full well that he was going to be away, so that doesn't really come into our consideration. It was more just what his form's like. Has he got enough preparation in to be able to play this weekend?
I believe Harry Marsh might have a bit of an ankle or an injury concern out of training last night. Where's Harry at?
I think he should be right to go this weekend. So he'll train tonight and Friday, and all things being equal, he'll take the field on Sunday.
And you talk about the boys that might be unlucky to miss out. Are they the likes of Jacob Atkinson and Jack Beverley?
Oh, it could be one of them. Any of the players, I suppose, if Borchert does come in, I suppose the 22 that played the second semi, they're in the box seat to get a game. We've had Braden Fimino, Caden Fulgrove that have been training and performing really well. So our depth is really strong, and that's important for us going into the weekend. Whoever does miss out, I suppose, they've done a power of work and they're going to be really strong for us going forward. And they've done everything that they can. So.
Just the last one on Clancy and that face mask. So he's quite comfortable wearing it in that first semi-final in the reserves. He got through okay. I saw his stats were pretty good. He had 16 possessions and 9 marks. So from that point of view, he'd be happy. But wearing the mask, he's all right with that?
Yeah, he said it was a bit of an improvement to his facial complexion. But I think that he's been able to train and play with it. It's been ticked off by the WAFL. Hasn't had any discomfort from it. So I think as long as he's confident, then he'll be ready to go.
What would be the reason to play Clancy if everything's going well and no need to change things? What would be the thought there? Would it be a tactical thing, or why would you play him?
I think it'll probably come down just to our structure, making sure that, I suppose, we're a process-driven team, role-based team, and that's what we talk to the players all about. So if he does come in, it's to play a specific role and fulfil that for us. His experience is going to be important, but also the young guys that we've been able to bring in this year, and a bit of a transition for us this year from last year's grand final side. Those guys have been outstanding, so we've got full confidence in whichever 22 take the field come Sunday that they're going to be able to play a role.
Does sentiment come into it at all, though, like in terms of his history with the club and that sort of thing?
Oh, not really. Grand finals are there to be won, so we've got to pick the best 22, and Subiaco's been a club that's been bigger than any one individual. We acknowledge that Clancy's been a terrific servant for the club, Esperance product, and has done everything that he can to get the most out of his football ability. So if he gets the opportunity on Sunday, that'll be great. If he misses out, he's highly respected, and that's not going to change how he leaves the football club, whether it's at the end of this season or at the end of next season.
So, Toddy, do you think Clancy will play this week after we've spoken all about it?
Oh, it doesn't really worry me, and I don't have any say in it, so it's not something I worry about. That's their challenge as a footy club. Obviously there's some guys that have done everything right to play and to be overlooked, by someone that chose to go away. Then if that's what they see fit and that's the best thing for their team, they'll make that decision.
Todd, you do have something to worry about though in the Sandover medalist, Lachlan Delahunty. You're going to think outside the box, trying to stop him in the ruck.
Oh, look, he's a fantastic player. I think it was a really from a football, I guess, with my background, I was really pleased to see the way that the medal finished. I think, too often the medal tends to go to players that are, it's simply on numbers and it's become a midfielder's medal. I think this year it went to a bloke who was, clearly one of the best in the competition and has real impact on games. So, I was really rapt to see him to win it. I think he's a fantastic player, worthy winner, and I don't know him really as a person, but he seems like a great person and a great teammate. So he's a good player. But Brock, he's been fantastic for us. I would say neither of them are traditional ruckmen in the sense, Brock's not super tall, but his second phase works pretty good for a big guy, and obviously Lachlan's strength is his ability to play as an extra mid. So it'll be a good battle. They had a good battle in the second semi, and they'll no doubt have a good battle again this week.
How does Brock stop him? I mean, he's so good around the ground, but then Brock's so physical. Is it more, has he got to beat him up as such around the contest to wear him out?
Well, I think probably because of the way Brock presents, he's a little bit untidy and very physical, but he's actually a pretty good player himself, and he has an ability to impact and impact the game post ruck with his extra second phase run as well. So he's been a great player for us. He'll play his own game. He's been a really strong, consistent contributor. Obviously they've got strengths in their team that we'll try and do some stuff around to minimise, and we'll try and maximise our strengths. So we'll back him in.
Do you consider Della Franca maybe to also help out around in the ruck with Delahunty's mobility?
Oh, look, unfortunately, Joshy Collard, it's been confirmed he's ruptured his ACL, so there's one golden ticket. There's probably 5 or 6 blokes that have put their hand up, depending on how we choose to go. But, the games that we've used, been able to play Blair, he's been fantastic for us. So, a couple of weeks ago, Zach Strom missed a week. We brought Blair in and played him as a key forward to play as our structure. Didn't get a heap of the ball, but his willingness to compete and bring the ball to ground certainly helped us. So, he's definitely an option. And then there's probably half a dozen others that have been training the house down, waiting for an opportunity. So, unfortunately for Josh, getting injured, that's created at least one opportunity.
So that idea of sending a 6'2" or 6'3" to Lockie around the ground, is that you're saying that's what you're considering that, or
Not really. It was more, I think, if Blair come in, he'd play key forward and help Brock out in the ruck. So we back our system in. It's hard because at WAFL level you probably don't get the opportunity to look in depth at all the clubs every week. But rarely do we ever send anyone. We back ourselves to beat teams with team defence. So I don't think you'll see anyone come in and just specifically run with anyone.
Could you do something left field and maybe send Dylan to him, for instance, if he's going to play so much as a midfielder?
I've spoken to Dylan about it, but maybe that's an idea for later on. But, look, we're pretty consistent with how we roll out. I don't think we're going to change it. We've got to the last game of the year. There's only 2 teams that can win it. We're one of them. So we'll back our system and play our way.
You spoke to Collard as well, being out. What about Dent? How's he coming up from him?
Yeah, he's going pretty well. So he recovered. He was pretty good at training last night. So we expect him to play.
You've had so much heartache in years prior to this. You finally made the big dance. Do you see any more incentive in the players to make sure you make this one count?
Not really. I think out of the team that played last week, less than half. I think half of them have maybe played in one of those prelims or none. So, we've got such a different group than we have in the past. So I don't think you need any extra incentive this week. We're just looking forward to it, to be honest. The mood around the group is just, excitement, looking forward to it. Can't wait for the weekend to come around. And, if you were told in November that the odds are, 50-50 that you're going to be in the game that counts, I think everyone would jump at it. So, lucky enough to play in 4 grand finals as a player, was underdog in all 4 of those, and I've got 2 medals at home, so anything can happen.
Are they beatable?
Absolutely, we beat them in round 6. Yep.
But you really had to refashion the team this year without Saunders, Cook, Hams, Hockey, Delolio, Edwards, Parker and Pickett. So to get them to the grand final, you must be really proud of what they've achieved.
Just proud of the group. I think the biggest thing for us this year is we're much more even and much more flexible, so we've got the opportunity. There's more guys that can play in different spots probably than we have had, in the past. So, and younger guys tend to be a bit more fearless, I think, because they just take what comes at them.
What about yourself, Dylan? What do you put the success down to this year without all those guys?
Yeah, obviously it's a massive loss losing all those games of experience. But I think what we've had is just a lot of young fellas come through with just want to strive to be their best and play their role, and that's all we can ask from them. Just get out there, play your role. Don't need to do anything special, and that's what we've brought up with like Todd said, a big different group from what we had in the last prelim or the 3 previous. So just super proud of the group and what we've been able to do this year.
What about for yourself? You're a South Fremantle boy through and through, Colts all the way through. What would it mean to you to skip a premiership?
Yeah, it'd be massive. It's a massive honour just to captain the club or just walk out in the jumper every week. So it'd be huge. Don't want to look too far ahead though. I've got to get out there on Sunday and try and get the job done first.
Kyle Horsley missing out on the Sandover medal. Have you spoken to him? Is he determined to put on a bit of a show this weekend? Would it have affected him at all?
I sit next to him on the night, so I've spoken to him in terms of how it's going to affect how he approaches the game of the weekend. I wouldn't imagine that it would affect Kyle a lot. He's not going to change the way he attacks the game, I guess, because he didn't win the Sandover on Monday. He's a competitive guy, and he'd be keying himself up for this from the moment we knew we were in the game. So I don't think it's going to change. He's a great player, and it was great for Dalla to win it as well.
Being captain, you took on that role from Kyle. You seem to have slotted in seamlessly. What's it going to mean to you to captain the team on Sunday, and what would it mean to you to captain a grand final winning team?
Yeah, for me, it's really the pinnacle. It would be the pinnacle, I guess, of a footy career to be able to captain a premiership in the WAFL. Big guys that I get to play with every week and see what they sacrifice and what they put in, and the club itself, to be able to represent them and be captain and just be a part of that group. There's nothing more you play for, so excited at the opportunity that lays in front of us.
Lee, the Clancy Wheeler situation, they're always a little bit awkward. Do the leadership group get any say? Like, do you get a say in whether or not he plays, or is it a decision that comes down to the coaching staff?
Well, I think it'll come down to the coaching staff. If we're called upon sometimes what we think and what we think is going to be the mix and where we see our strongest team. So I'm not sure whether Bo will reach out to us this week for that, but Clancy, like we said, club legend. If he gets to play, you know what he's going to deliver, and if he doesn't get to play, he's a guy that's always put the footy club in front of himself. So he's going to be there and support us as he would as if he was running out on the weekend anyway.
You go, Ross.
The club's lost some big names. Clark, DeLuca and Phelan are away from the premiership team last year, but a few boys have stepped up, and I think some Colts players have stepped up. So the replacement, we spoke about the change in the South Fremantle side, but there's been a big change in the Subi side as well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of blokes be able to fill those boys. I guess you were never going to get a complete replacement for someone like Zach Clark or DeLuca and Fez. They've had remarkable careers at the AFL and in the WAFL. But much like South Fremantle, once you have some of those older statesmen move on and with better opportunities, then opportunities come for those guys that are ready to take them. And sometimes that's all it takes, someone to move out of a position and someone comes in and sometimes they do it better. I'm not saying that necessarily someone's coming in and filled Zach's role, but you see that Lockie's really flourished in that position, and some of our midfielders have been able to get more time on ball, like Max Walters, and he's been a credit there for us this year. So I think it's just like in any footy club, when you have those opportunities come, you just want someone to take it with both hands. And like you said, we've had some guys really do that this year.
And some kids from the Colts, I think Stainsby and maybe Atkinson. Stainsby was from the Colts, wasn't he, Bo?
Yeah, Stainsby played last year, so he's played 6 games. Be a great story, I suppose, if he gets to play in a WAFL grand final after playing a Colts one last year. And I think they're just really competitive, and that's what we, I suppose, ask of all of our players when they come in to play the role, but just be really competitive in everything that they do, whether it's training, their preparation, and then come game day, I think that's reflected in our performances.
So I spoke about Lee and the transition to captain. You, following on from Jared, coaching the Colts to the Premiership, and players like Stainsby now playing in the league, has that helped and assisted you?
Oh, definitely, and I think you touched on it before with the transition of some of our older guys leaving and getting opportunity at AFL level, which the club's prided itself on over a long period of time, but to transition some of those younger guys that have been playing reserves for a fair period, Travis Cleggett, Ben Reid, Daniel Leach have all stepped up in various capacities this year, and then for a kid like Cole Stainsby, Jack Mayo debuted early in the season, to see those guys come in, play really strong league football is great for our club and our program that we're running, and hopefully we see that in the years to come as well.
Toddy, if Bo plays Wheeler, would you think that would be a sign that they're super confident of winning? Maybe even arrogant?
It certainly wouldn't say it's arrogant, but look, if they decide that that's their best team to win, then he'll play. And we're exactly the same. If we think that someone's going to play and that's our best team for that week, then we'll pick them. So I've got no control about who they pick. We're quite more than happy to roll out and play this week and take on whatever 22 they put out there. So we've got enough to worry about within our own group without me worrying about selecting or helping Bo with his selections.
You did mention though that you've been overseas and come back and almost saying why should he get a game is the reflection that perhaps they look after one of their mates, one of their good players, give him the flag.
It's
more
more
look over South Fremantle.
It's nothing to do with Clancy because he's obviously been a great player. It's more you worry about the guys that have been here and have done the work, but he's been up front with them what was going to happen. So I'm sure if he's in their best side, he'll play.
He does provide that ruck, does he? I know Atkinson does the ruck as well, but he gives you a bit more flexibility maybe up forward and in the ruck as well. Is that how you're seeing it at the moment?
Oh, absolutely. I suppose he's done that for the majority of the season and for most of his career. The benefit of Clancy is his flexibility to play multiple roles, and we've spoken all year to our players that if you can play 2 roles within our team, then you're more likely to get selected on a weekly basis. So that's what we need. He can go back if we need to. He can play through the ruck and he can play forward. And Jacob's been as versatile in fulfilling that role throughout the season. They're both really competitive, so I suppose it's going to be a tough decision one way or the other tonight. But both players, I suppose, understand where they're at.
Dylan, for yourself, you beat Subiaco earlier this year. You're the only team to do it in 2 years. How much confidence does that give you heading into Sunday? What do you say to the group about that this week?
Yeah, I think you just draw a little belief from it. Everyone knows grand finals are it's not banked on what you've done throughout the season. You've done all the hard work to get there, but anyone can win on the day. But I think, particularly being a young group, everyone can draw a bit of confidence from it. So, in saying that, Subi have been a great team, such a great long period of time. So, everything will have to go right on Sunday. Look forward to the challenge ahead, but I mean, I'm confident if we stick to our game plan and play our trademark footy that it'll take us a long way in winning the game.
Given their success recently, do you feel like this is almost a free hit for you guys? There's no pressure on you to win? More pressure's on Subi?
Yeah, we're definitely the underdogs going into the game, I think, which it helps a little bit. I think I was speaking to Todd on the way here, the pressure was maybe there last week, being another prelim, our 4th in a row, and being the efforts that we put up the 3 previous years. So I think we've sort of got over that mountain now, so it's a bit of maybe a bit of a free run at it this weekend.
So you said you know what it takes to win as an underdog. Did it a couple of times in West Perth. What is the secret to winning when you're not expected to win?
not expecting to win is the opinion of people that aren't within your group. So within our group, we've got a lot of belief that we can win. I think it's fantastic because you get to the day you're the best team for 120 minutes. You don't necessarily need to be the best team all year. So you're only going to win one game and be at your best on that day. So there's no doubt that we can do it. We've got full confidence and we can do it. As Dill said, speaking to the group post the weekend, there is that little bit of anxiety when you're going into a prelim and you've lost sort of 3 in a row. So I guess for Subi, they've been a great team for a long time, probably finished on top of the ladder, probably 4 or even 5 the last 5 years, but certainly the last 4 years, unfortunately, with sort of what happened with qualification rules and all that sort of stuff at this stage, they only won one in the last 3 years or 4 years. So, they'd be desperate. I think they'd be, super keen to bank another one. If we win on the weekend, you can be a great team for a long time, but everyone remembers premierships and you come back to celebrate premierships. So we'll be doing everything we can to win this week.
Is it a bit disappointing that the two Bens, Sokol and Newton, both started at Sacramento and for whatever reason are now at Subiaco? You'd sooner see them in red and white than maroon and gold?
I think it's great for both of them to see them playing well. Ben was at South before my time, caught up with him when he first came back, and I think he's really frustrated and sore with his body at that stage. Took 12 months away, and he's pretty close with a couple of the Subi blokes, so he chose to go back there, which is great. It's just good to see him playing footy. Would have been nice for him not to play as good a footy as he did in the second setting, but Ben Sokol, look, we're wrapped for him, to be honest. He was behind, Saunders and, Shaw and Strom at that stage, and probably just had to go for an opportunity. So he's a fantastic kid, works super hard. So we're really happy that he's found his niche and been able to play good footy, because he's a good person. But unfortunately, where we were at that stage, he couldn't get an opportunity. So he saw one and he's grabbed it, which is great.
Hey Dylan, I don't reckon you'd be feeling that nice towards Sokol, though, would you? You'd be taking a different view.
Yeah, I grew up with Ben, played on my junior footy with him. Yeah, like Todd said, he's a great young fella. Great to see him going well. Just hopefully he doesn't kick it back this Sunday like he's been doing the past month or so.
But when you cross the line, you won't be a mate, you'll be after him.
When you cross the line, you go head to head at it, but then as soon as that siren goes after the game, it's probably grabbing for a beer that night anyway.
I think we all go harder at our mates, don't we? When we do people you don't know, the last thing you want to do is get beaten by one of your mates.
Todd, what do you have to do better this week that you didn't do 2 weeks ago?
I think we took our eye off the ball, got frustrated with stuff that was probably out of our control, lost our focus completely for 10 or 15 minutes, and against a good team, they rattled on 6 goals. So I think we've got to just be prepared to stick and do what we do. Finals footy is generally always messy. Your first game plan is not going to work for the whole period. So you just got to be prepared to work through it and play what's in front of you. So there's no doubt that our group certainly learned a lot from it out of that game. So we will adjust a few things, and we've practiced a few things the last couple of weeks. So now it's just about making them feel good, making sure they're fresh, and roll them out and let them go.